Happy Friday.
Oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said ooh, shut up and dance with me. We were victims of the night.
Hello, and welcome to episode 27 of Knit Sense. My name is Jan, and you can find me as Jan Ellen RN on Ravelry, on Instagram, pretty much everywhere, but those are the two places I'm mainly around. We do have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com// I don't know, Knit Sense. And we do have a Ravelry group, the Knit Sense podcast group. Please come join us. It's lonely over there. Please join me. So let's see. This week, what did we have? We had a solar eclipse. We had enough of a storm. It wasn't even, I don't know, one day it was supposed to rain and have really bad storms. It didn't rain. And then the next day we had really bad storms in the morning, and then the sun came out. It was really hot and humid and sticky. And in the evening, I hear this banging, crashing, whatever noise. I mean, it was really ridiculous. I thought one of the cats had knocked something over, looking all over, can't find it. I go outside, and there must have been such a gust of wind that it took my patio umbrella, lifted it out of the cement base, and tossed it maybe 50 feet, but knocking across every piece of patio furniture on its way. I didn't find it until 2 days later and realized what that noise was. And that was maybe 2 hours before the next round of storms hit. So that was kind of a wild evening. Other than that, it's been a pretty quiet week. And I don't know, are we up to 4 or 5 weeks in a row? I don't remember, but it's getting to be a fun habit. And the shows hopefully are going to be getting a little bit shorter because I have less and less to show. So let's see what we have this week. I have some works in progress, and again, I haven't made too much progress. I'm kind of really trying to cut down on my cast-on-itis that I all of a sudden have. And with the Find Your Fade, that's like a big project, so I don't want to cast on too many other big projects, but I have made some progress. In the world of spinning, I'm embarrassed to bring in, I had been showing, I'm doing a 3-ply with, what was it? Oh, with the hip strings. 1 second. Okay, we can go on. With the hip strings fiber, that pink and silvery gray. But I really didn't make any more progress on it, so I thought that was kind of silly. But that's because I was working on something else, which I did bring, so I will show you that. We are actually going to have a live demonstration. So this could go one of two ways. Knowing me, I know I have a good sense of which way it's going to go, but we're going to try it. I had gotten that steamer that I mentioned that Jillian Marina was using to smooth out and kind of almost like steam block the sample yarns we were spinning in class, and I really wanted to give it a try. So I found this little mini skein that I spun up as a sample, and to be honest with you, I can't tell if this was already washed and just as badly spun, or if I didn't wash it and it just needs the extra twist to come out. So we're going to give that steamer a try later on this live and see, because you can see that this is pretty well, it's either way overspun or it needs to be relaxed. So we're going to give this method a try, and we're gonna see where that goes. What else? I have very little enabling, but I do have some. Yeah, that's what comes of going into the yarn store. Oh. And my M Club came in the mail, so I have that. And then we have a contest going and going and going. So we'll get into that later. So let's dive in and start with our works in progress hour. You know, I noticed that in my last podcast, I'm using the royal we a lot. There's no royalty here, okay? It's just me with my kludgy setup. So when I say we, it's just I take full responsibility for everything and anything that goes on in this podcast, including the interruptions, the pets, the dogs, the falling over. Oh, which, by the way, I record at my kitchen table because it's kind of like I said, we live in a very wooded area, and this is like the lightest room that I have where I can sit down. My dining room, there's like this one tiny little window facing the woods. I would need God knows how many lights in there. So I record in my kitchen because, you know, we have the big window, the sliding doors. I still use lights, and I have my kitchen table. But the whole point of this tirade is that my daughter is going back to school, and at the moment is sharing the table with me, but I have a sneaking suspicion as the semester progresses, we'll be taking over this table, which means that my limited already space is going to get even more limited. And I can see already that I'm like perilously close to things falling off now as it is. So let's see if we can keep this to a dull roar. And the reason I say is I'm about to reach for my socks, and I'm not sure that we're not going to lose anything on the way. But here we go. Okay, so first work in progress is my Desert Vista Dye Works August socks. It is August 25th. I know this because yesterday was my mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. And today is my nephew's birthday. Happy birthday, Eddie. So here we are. It is the 25th, and both socks are finished without the heel. Okay, I have not put the Afterthought heel in yet. I just finished the second sock last night. Now, what I couldn't figure out, the socks lined up almost perfectly. Let's get this at the end here. The striping. Let's see if I can hold it close enough. Yeah. So you can see the striping really matched up beautifully all the way down. Let's just hold this tight because I'm really trying to figure out where it went south. Okay, can we still see? Yeah, they're all lined up all the way down, and then I ended up with this little extra bit here on one sock. I'm not sure how that happened. I started my decreases on the same row. I don't know if my gauge changed, whatever. But I think I'm going to end up picking the exact same stripe, measuring up from that sock, picking the shorter sock, and picking where the heel will go. And worst comes to worst, the other sock will just be a little looser. But so hopefully either later today or definitely by tomorrow, because it won't be around on Sunday, I will put my heels in and call these socks done. So yeah, so on time so far. I think I have a good shot at making my August socks. So we're barreling along. We're through, well, I don't want to say through August yet. I'm not finished, but we're almost there. So that would be 8 months of socks. So we'll have 8 new pairs of socks for next year. And I'm going to intend to keep on going, and hopefully we will have 12 new socks for 2018. So that's one work in progress. Like I said, I don't know what I think that's the steamer going to hit the deck. Okay. The other thing that got some love this week was my Find Your Fade. I'm trying to remember where I was last week. These are the two colors that I already used. I think I was at the end of, I believe I was at the end of the second color. And it began about to begin the third color. I don't think I had wound it yet. I think I had shown it. I think I had shown it and pointed out that this second color it really was pretty similar to the first. It was a very gradual difference, but you can see this one has more of a yellowy green tone to it, whereas this one is a bit of a brighter yellow and starts to bring in the pops of the oranges and the purples, whereas this has more of the blue, pinks, and definitely more of a gold, whereas this one was more of a yellow with the orange. So I did fade in the third color, and let's see. Okay. Now let's see where we did that. Here's the right side. And it's funny because, see, if I were to look at these two, I would not think that these two, I would not pick these, but it's a perfect choice because to me, I don't really see a difference. I had to really study it to say, yeah, this one picks up the gold from the first one. These two go together perfectly. I already probably would have gone and tried to pick out one of the colors, which is why I don't color pick myself anymore. I learned that lesson the hard way. And when you hold it up, you can clearly see, at least I now can clearly see, how it is beginning to fade from that pollen color at the bottom to the pollen color kind of mixed in, and then up here where the lighter color with now the oranges is definitely a different color, but it blends in perfect. It's like the perfect faded color. So this is why I went for the kit and not rogue on my own. So where we're at now, here's where I faded. You can see where the last stripes were of the second color, and then did the garter section of the third color, and now I'm working on the lace. And I believe that after this, then I will be fading into the fourth color. So I'm on the second of 3 repeats, I think you do, of the lace. I think you do one and then repeat it twice more, I think. Yeah, that sounds right. And then you begin to, I think you do a couple of garter rows, and then you begin to fade in the next color. So that's where I'm at now. I'm almost at the end of this third color, and I didn't bring down the next color. I'll show it because hopefully by next week I will be working on the fourth color. But again, it's taking longer and longer as the rows get longer and longer. And I believe there is a point, and I'm not sure which color it comes in. I know I'm not up there anywhere near there yet, but there does come a point where you stop increasing. Because as you can see, each one of these rows, every other row is increasing 2 stitches. So it starts at this point, and then it goes out, and then at some point it will stop increasing, and it just remains the same width. I am not there yet. So it uses obviously more and more of each skein, and it takes longer and longer to get through each section. So here we are. I am at, this way, maybe that's a little better. I am at the third color out of 7, and I will be hopefully fading into color 4 by next week. So, and like I said again, the rows are going to take longer and longer, so we won't be making as quick progress because I might have cast on something new. I might have. Let's see, let's get through the the already works in progress. Let's see, dump it on her books. It's okay, she won't mind. My Deschain, that's what we're going to call it. I don't know. I don't know how to say this pattern. I've been butchering it since I started it. But I do believe last week I did show that I had finished the front. I think this is the top and the front. Yeah. Okay. I have a sneaking suspicion this thing is going to be huge, like really huge. But I did show this last week. I think I showed where it fell on me, which is, I'm fine with it. It's just a loose top. Obviously, going to have to put something under it, So I'm fine with it being on the looser side. I didn't do too much on it, but I did make some progress. And the back part, what did I just do? The back part is just stockinette. I don't remember where I was. I really should start marking it from week to week. But, oh my goodness. This is also top down, technically, because I didn't do the hems. Anyway, that's as far as I got on the back. And this is just a basic stockinette. That's it. So, it is kind of becoming a little mind-numbing. So, but I do want it done because it's linen and cotton, and obviously I won't be wearing it till next spring, so I do want it done now. What am I thinking? That's okay. I would wear it in the winter with something heavy underneath it, or even light, because I don't care. I'm fine with that. So those were the 3 that I was working on. And I just started a new project. Oh, I knew there was a reason I didn't bring my iPad down. I went into the yarn store yesterday actually looking for one silly skein of cotton. And I didn't bring it down. I did get it, and it's probably not even appropriate for what I wanted to use it for. It was the gift bag that I showed last week. I think they're just adorable, and I think as cute as they are as gift bags, I think they make great yarn holders. So I was going to make a couple of them, but I went to Michael's to look at the sugar and cream, which is 100% cotton and kind of the right weight for it. And it calls for an Aran weight. And I looked at the sugar and cream, and at best it's worsted. And I did get a skein of it. Probably next week I'll bring it, show you the 2 yarns and why I don't think the skein I got yesterday is going to work, because it says worsted actually. This looks to me like it's Aran bordering on a light chunky. This is going to make a huge bag, and that's not really what I wanted. So I could go down a needle size, and then the lace one, I don't know. So anyway, that's what I went into the yarn store for, and then I saw this top, and, well, that was that. It is from the Lana Grossa lookbook, the Spring Summer 2017. Now, I tried pretty hard to find this on Ravelry. I could not. I did find the book mentioned on Ravelry. Like if you search for the book, it will show you the book and one of the patterns, but it does not have this pattern, and it doesn't have the book for sale on Ravelry. So fortunately, this is not, well, I don't want to say it's not a complicated pattern. It's really not. It's like crazy easy. This is it. Okay, it's got the very creative name of O3. That's the name. And in the store, she had done it in a bluish color. The yarn is what makes it. The yarn is the Lana Grossa de Moda, and this is actually a self-striping yarn. It's a self-striping ribbon yarn. Let me see if I can find the open skein here that I'm working with. So you can see this is actually a flat, sparkly ribbon yarn, and you can see on the inside this particular skein started. I'm going to take out what I've done so far. It's a 1-row pattern. one row pattern. I had to cast this puppy on 5 times and 2 phone calls to the yarn store before we could figure out actually how it worked. But that's okay. We got it going. So you can see, oh, that's actually a good shot. You can see it's starting to go from this darker purple, or it's actually not even really purple. This is more of a denim-y, silvery denim blue. This is not purple. And it's, let's see if I can get it back where it was, the lights. Yeah, you can see where it's starting to get a little bit lighter. And if I look, let's see if I can hold the skein this way, you can see where it transitions. And it actually ends up as this almost silvery white blue on the inside. And that's how you get that striping effect on the sweater. Now, the sweater is knit from side to side. So the direction you're knitting in is this way. And the sleeve bands are knit separately and then sewn on, and then you just sew up the sides. So basically you're knitting a front going this way, a back going this way, they're identical, and then you knit these sleeve bands, which I don't know if you could see, but I think it's basically just garter stitch, and you sew them on to the front and the back and then sew the whole thing up, which I'm going to have somebody either help me with or whatever, because my sewing skills really stink. But I saw this, it was drapey, it was just the kind of thing, I mean, yeah, for the summer it's great. I would probably wear it over a cami, but I'm thinking even in the winter, in the darker color, that I would wear this over a long sleeve tee, over a turtleneck, over anything. I would. So it's so light. The yarn, you know, I've always thought that these kinds of yarns would be scratchy or whatnot. This one is not at all. It is really nice and soft. Let me see what the fiber content of this is. Here's the label. Let's see. Okay. So the one that I'm using, it's the Lana Grossa Demoda, I think, yeah, and mine is the colorway 007, James Bond 007. That's what it says, 007. And I'm looking for the fiber content. Oh, it's 82% viscose, 18% polyester. So it's drapey, it's not scratchy or itchy at all, and I'm really pleased because I had only one other time in my life worked with this kind of flat ribbon type yarn, and that was back in the day when Barocco came out with the suede. And I believe they have recently relaunched it, but I'm talking back in the day. And this was pre-Ravelry, pre-really local yarn store, where you had your local yarn store and the patterns you got in the store. And to say that what I did was a disaster, was so much of a disaster, I threw the project, the needles, the yarn, everything out. It was just completely unusable. There was no salvaging it, nothing. And I'm going back years now. So I've always been leery about trying these ribbon type yarns again, but when I saw it knit up, I was like, you know, I'm going to give it a shot. So this, I'm doing the medium size, the middle size, and it called for 10 skeins of this. And the reason I say it is an easy one row pattern, but it took all those phone calls, it was translated from, I'm assuming the original pattern was written in Italian and translated. And if you do find the lookbook, if you choose to make this pattern, just know that it's not quite written as clearly as it could be. It calls for selvage stitches and then an additional selvage stitch, which we couldn't figure out. The numbers, the math didn't work on it, and it took some real figuring to figure out what the designer intended. So once you get it, it's like I said, it's one row, back and forth, same row, same stitch both sides, easy peasy. And you have this little, edging that's knit in on both sides. But the problem was here, figuring out the beginning and the ending. The stitch part was fine, but if you do the math incorrect, without counting in an extra stitch, which they don't really explain very well, the numbers will not come out well, right, and neither will base. So that was the only problem I had getting started. An hour and a half later, I was merrily on my way, but at that point I was so tired, that was all that I managed to get done. So, but it is a really fun knit. It's super, super simple once you get it started. Sorry, that was Phonus Interruptus again. We're getting there. I can't figure out when my phone rings, and I have my phone on silent, but it was up on the corner of my computer, which is fine. I would have ignored it if it didn't wipe the whole screen away. I'm going to get the hang of this. I may end up stopping after that, but I am going to get the hang of how this all works. I'm still working at it. I'm actually, well, leave this out so that I can get at it because it's a really cute bag. I'll show you in a minute. On to spinning. Again, I haven't done too much. I actually generally, if I'm going to be spinning, I tend to do my spinning during the day because my wheels are downstairs. Obviously, I'm not going to bring them up to the bedroom, so I try to, if I spin during the day, and I do my knitting, at night or, whenever. But it's been a crazy busy week, and I haven't had too much time. But what I am working on is a braid, but it's not really a braid. I think this was definitely a club. Yes, this was a club from 2015. Goes to show how far I am behind. This is an Into the World. The name is Talisman. The colorway is Talisman. It was from the September 15 Luxe Club. It is 60/40 Polworth Tussa Silk. And I am spinning this on my flat iron. And part of my problem was I had a lot of difficulty this week with my wheel. I don't know why it's been running and humming perfectly right now. And now that I took the bobbin off, I only hope that when I go to put this back on, it's all smooth and it's all going fine. Unfortunately, I'm doing this on my Woolly Winder, so you can't really see what's underneath or how far I've gotten on it, but that's my singles, and my intent is to chain ply this to keep these color blocks together. And it really has some beautiful colors in this. Let me show you. It's got from this rust to this cranberry, a couple of different shades of blue. There's a tiny bit of gray in there. I think this was just beautiful colorway. So I'm going to say I'm probably about maybe halfway through. This was a 4 to 4.3 ounce braid. It wasn't really braided, but comb top. Let's leave it go at that. So this is what I have left. This is what I've spun. And again, I'm going to chain ply this when it is finished, and that's what we will have. So now I'm going to move on to my live demonstration. This is either going to work and we're going to all see this together, or this is just going to be one of those. I don't want to break the bobbin. I don't care if the fiber falls, but don't move. There we go. Okay. So I had been talking about Jillian Moreno's class and how she used a steamer to steam block instead of soaking and whatever, all the samples. So I went and got, they're so inexpensive. This is not the same one that she used. Now, I have to explain, my outlet's over there. I have both lights plugged in, my computer plugged in, and now the steamer plugged in. I'm only hoping this doesn't cause some over wattage here because the wiring in this house is only slightly worse than the internet. So here's this little pocket steamer. I didn't read the instructions, which probably, I don't know, how difficult could it be? There's an on-off switch, so we're going to switch this baby on. I did put water in it, and I'm going to wait to see when there's steam coming out. And we're going to find out if this was just a very badly spun skein or if I didn't, in fact, take out the extra twist and block it. So we're going to see if this actually will work. So I'm just waiting for some steam to build up. Let's see. Now watch, it's going to be a complete fail. No steam's going to come out. We're going to go no place. Or we're going to find out that I'm a really bad overspinner and this isn't going to do a darn thing. But what do they say? It's live. Not that I can't edit it out. It's not like live, but hey, listen, I'm willing to share my failures. I know, I'm not, I have no pride. Okay, so we're still waiting. We can chit chat, talk amongst yourselves while we get the steam going. Did you all see the eclipse? So I had been home in the morning and it started really early on the West Coast. So I was watching all the videos and seeing that it got really dark and the stars were coming out. Oh, I see steam now. Also, here's some really bizarre noise coming from this thing. Let's see, can you see the steam on there? Oh my God, this thing doesn't blow up on me. Hers was not making this noise at all. Nor was it dancing across the table. Okay. Anyway, so by the time it hit here on the East Coast, it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2:45 I think it peaked, and I was actually out with my daughter, and of course doing what Evie said, don't look at it, and I'm looking up, I don't see anything. It's not even dark, it's nothing, it didn't even look like it was cloudy out. But I did, somebody loaned me a pair of glasses, and I did look up, and you could see it, so it was pretty cool. I admit it probably was a lot cooler where you all got dark and whatever. So let's see. I'm going to put this in front, and let's see. This is making any difference. Okay, this steamer is not great, but ow. Let's see. Are we seeing it straight now? Oh my goodness, yes. Aside from this horrendous noise, now I don't know if you can see this on camera. I don't know if it's showing up as well as I would like. Let's see. Here's the before. Okay. Here's the before. And let's run that part through, trying not to burn off my fingers. Okay. And here's the after. So we do that again. Here is the before. Okay. And we'll run that past the steamer. Oh my goodness, yeah, you can really see. It is just taking that twist, that extra twist right out. So it's going to blow up in the process. It's making some noise. Okay, so again, I will show you. This is the before, and you can see it's, you know, got a lot of extra energy in there. So I will run that past that section right in front of the steamer, and you can see it. You can just see the yarn literally just relaxing in the steam. Oh my goodness, look at that. If you look at like the spots that really, like right here, oh my gosh, I'm trying not to burn myself in the process, has a lot of extra twist like right there. And if we put it right in front, you could just watch it. You can, I'm looking on the camera, and I'm actually, you can see that this is taking the extra twist literally right out of it. Okay, this is cool. This is cool. So I think this is a great way. Now again, if you have a really obviously thick skein of yarn, I'm not sure how useful this would be. Because it would have to penetrate all the skeins, or I would imagine you'd have all the skeins, all of the strands, or I would imagine you'd have to pass it through several times. But I think we've gone all the way through, and what we have now, as opposed to that twisted yarn, it is now a balanced yarn, and this was really, really twisted. So there you go. That's how you steam your yarn, just right in front of the steamer, and it's really, really cool. I could still see some spots that have some extra twists that I missed, and if you pass it right in front, you can just watch that twist just come right out. So there you go. I'm going to shut this off because the noise is really making me nervous. Hers did not make that noise. I think I may actually order. Wow, that was a noisy little baby. So anyway, this I believe is, what is this? This is the Cormo that I washed lock by lock and was sampling. And this was a 2-ply. So this is a 2-ply lace, and I'm actually thinking, I believe I spun this woolen from the lock. I just washed lock by lock and spun them. And now that I've actually locked it or steamed it or whatever you want to call it, I'm thinking this would actually probably be really beautiful for a lace shawl. And the reason I say that is one of the things, I'm trying to remember which class I took. I think it might have been an online class with Jillian on plying and how yarns act when they are plied, and what singles are good for, and what 2-plies are good for, what 3-plies and up are good for. And one of the things that, now my goal for this Cormo all along had been to make a, like an heirloom type Estonian lace shawl or a Shetland lace shawl, just a large lace shawl. And one of the things that she had said was that 2-ply is almost made for lace. It is the perfect choice for lace because it will block beautifully. It will hold the block. The plies want to open. And I'm looking at this, and after having gotten all of that extra twist out, I'm thinking that it really did come out at the diameter and the grist that I think would work perfectly for what I'm looking for. So steam blocking it was not a bad idea. There you go. That's how you do it. And that's all I have for spinning. Which brings me to the little bit of enabling. Now, last week I had mentioned that I had gotten my 3rd shipment. I think it was my 3rd shipment from the Romy Hill Pins and Lace Club. And I was lamenting that I didn't go. This year I went for, it's my first year in that club, and I did the pins and pattern option only, which means that you get the pin that she makes and the pattern, and you're kind of on your own for yarn. And I also mentioned last week that I had already gone out and pretty much gotten the yarns anyway, but I couldn't find this selection of yarn. I could not find the colorway, which I did love. And a fellow Raveler jumped in and said that the color really wasn't for her, and she was more than willing to part with it, and I did get it this week. And so this is the 2017. This is for, the pattern is called Dreamer. It's from the 2017 Pins and Lace, and it's from an indie dyer I had not ever heard of before or used, Mary Gavin Yarns. That's the, okay, and that's her website there. And I'm not even sure if there's a colorway. Let's see. August 15th. Let's see. Oh yes, the colorway is Gypsy. Now this is on her quail base, and this is 100% raw silk, which again, I have never knit. I've knit with silk, and I've knit with that slippery. There was one kind of silk that I actually ended up having to throw the tangle mess away. But I don't think I've ever knit with raw silk. But the colorway, it's exactly like it looked in the picture. It's just this taupey, pinkish, salmon kind of color. And I can see where a lot of people would not be crazy about this color. I happen to love this color, but I'm a pink girl. We all know that. And I love taupe, which is a very difficult shade. A lot of people are not crazy about taupe. I know a lot of people don't like peach. They can live with pink, but they can't live with the peachy salmons. So I could see where a lot of people were not, thrilled with this kind of color, because it is a very neutral. It's not a blue. It's not in the green. This is really, to me, this is a true neutral, but I could see where some people, it would not be flattering. So that was kind of lucky for me, because I was really sad that I had missed out on this color. So when the sign-ups come up for next year, I will be on the list for the yarn and the pins. I do believe also that you can have an option of yarn and pattern. That if you have been in her club for a while and you have pins, or if you just happen to have a lot of shawl pins, or if you don't wear shawl pins, you do have the option of doing the yarn and pattern only. So I think there's 3 options. There's pattern only, there's pattern and pin, there's, I guess that's 4 options. There's pattern, pins and yarn, and then yarn and pattern. If all that made sense. I don't even remember what I said, but you get the gist of it. Okay, and the other enabling that I got was I got my last inserted here kit from the M Club, which I know I have shared with you all before. The M Club is Laura Nelkin's year-long knit-along. It used to be, I'm trying to remember if the first year was All Mysteries, and that's what, I thought that's what the M stood for. Anyway, as it progressed, it's a club where when you join the club, she sends you 4 kits through the year. And each kit contains whatever you need to make the patterns. So she'll send you the yarn, whatever beads. There's always a goodie in there, especially if it's something that you need for the pattern. Like she's sent us crochet hooks, she's sent us little travel beading kits. I mean, all through the, I think 3 or 4 years I've already been in this club. I have quite a collection of items that she sent. And whatever beads, dental floss, or a dental floss threader, or what is that? There's the dental floss threader, and then the super floss, if you choose to use that, or a crochet hook. It depends. Some of her patterns you have to pre-string the beads. Some of the patterns you place them with a crochet hook or with the super floss. Anyway, all that is to say that this is the last installment from this year, 2017. Now, she's posted, she will have a club in 2018, but is going to be undergoing some changes to the club. None of us know what that is. She has not revealed the details yet, other than to say that there will be a club in 2018 but it's going to be a little bit revised. She's going to be expanding her designs or going in a slightly different direction. So that's actually kind of exciting because I've been with her since the first M Club, so I'm anxious to see. But this year, two of the four patterns were exclusive patterns. They were not mysteries, so we knew what we were knitting while we were knitting them. Two of the patterns are mystery knit-alongs. The mystery knit-alongs are open to those who are not members of the M Club. So in other words, if you sign up for this pattern, which is a mystery knit-along, it's the second of two. The first one was Creatrix, and it was probably one of the most just stunning Laura patterns I've knit, and I've knit a lot of her patterns. It was gorgeous. It was difficult, it was challenging, but it was completely doable. And it was fun. It was really learned a lot from that one. So this one is a mystery knit along. So if you would like to join in, I can tell you that the name of the pattern is, it is called Navigatrix. Okay, that's the name of the pattern. And if you go on Ravelry and look for it, you can purchase the pattern. Now, it won't come with the kit or whatever, but when Laura does these mystery knit-alongs along with the M Club, and she does open them to the public, she does give you whatever, yarn suggestions, what will work, what won't work, what size. She'll tell you exactly what you need for the knit-along to participate. So you're not going to be flying on your own. There is a forum. She has two forums. She has the Laura Nelkin forum and the M Club forum. The posts for this knit-along will be in the Laura Nelkin forum because, again, it's not specific to the M Club. This is open to anybody who wishes to join into the knit-along. So what came in the kit was, let's see, I'm actually just going to see if I can slide the card out. A 150-gram skein of Yacht Mother. Wow, I've used that yarn before. Let's see what that is. Now this is, again, this rosé. That's the color. Custom color for Laura Nelkin. Okay, so it's Yacht. And this is, I remember looking, because it's lace weight, but they consider this a heavy lace weight. But I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that if you have a heavy fingering, I think you're going to be fine, as long as you have the yardage. It also, these are the beads that she chose, so they're like, what do you call that? Like rainbow metallic kind of bead. I don't know, there is a name for that, and I can't. AB finish, I think. Aurora Borealis, I think, is the finish. And then, like I said, she includes a dental floss threader and the super floss, which I'm going to assume that means that there are both placed and pre-strung beads, but obviously we don't know. And then there is candy. It's organic hard candy from Tori and Howard, and this is in the pink grapefruit and Tupelo honey flavor. Okay, so that is the yarn. Again, we do not know what we are making, other than, and this is in, I'm sure you can see, like, the funny thing is, they're different. They're totally different colors, but they're pretty much in the same family. This one is obviously more pinky. This one is more of a taupey color. This one has more of a pinky orange tone to it. But they're both right up my alley. So that's what came in this month's kit. And one other thing, which is this really, really beautiful M Club bag. Now, last year, Laura had also included in the last shipment a bag, which I loved. I used it all this year for her stuff. This one, she outdid herself. This is actually embroidered on here, And this bag actually has a zip top to it. And that's what's holding my project that I started from the Lana Grassa project. So that's what all came in the kit. So I've never been disappointed in any of the Lore kits. I have to say I was pretty bad this year. I finished the Creatrix, loved it. Loved the shawl, loved the pattern, love it. The Brioche Bandito, which I think was the first kit this year, and that was not a mystery. I did start it. I'm part of the way done with it. Unfortunately, I stopped because I had been working on something else. Oh, just my peachy shawl. And I kind of like had brioche kind of coming out of my brain. But I really want to go back and finish that because I really, really enjoyed working on it. It was a beautiful orange and yellows. It's a cowl, beaded cowl. So I will go back and do that. And then the third one kit, which it seems to me I just got, but I didn't even start it. It was Aquifer, and that was a scarf. And I have not done that one either. But I figure between now and when even this one, the pattern comes out in October. So keep your eye out if you want to participate in the Mystery Knit Along. Again, it's called Navigatrix. By Lauren Elkin. You can participate. All you need to get is the yarn and however many beads. And I don't even think it's that many. It does not look like a ton of beads. So that's really all you would need. And then, you know, the standard needles and all of that stuff, which I don't even think we have yet. Doesn't say. And it's 7 grams of size 8 delicate glass beads. So it's not a lot of beads. And I will keep you posted on whatever I hear about the upcoming club signups for 2018 and for the Romy Hill Pins and Lace Club as well, because those are 2 clubs I will be joining. I am also a part of the Miss Babs World Tour Club, but I don't think I'm going to rejoin that one. I just haven't been able to keep up. And honestly, I've been kind of using the skeins for other things. So I think I'm actually not going to rejoin that, but these 2 clubs I will. And that's about it. The only other thing that I have on the agenda is the contest that is running on and on and on in the group. We are having a contest. The contest is for this skein of Desert Vista Dye Works, who we all know is just one of my, if not my favorite indie dyer. I love Susan. I love her colorways. This is called Patsy. This is on her Voir base, and it's a variegated, which I love because you get the same colorways as you would in a self-striping, but you can use this for a shawl. You can use this if you pick up one of the solid colors and use this as a variegated. I would pull out that olive green and mix this colorway with an olive green and do a 2-tone shawl. I think it would be absolutely stunning. It's all fall colors. I don't know if I had said the name of the colorway is Patsy, after Patsy Cline. Again, it is a variegated, and I think there's actually, yeah, there's even black in here. There's tones of brown, the yellow, but to me, for the fall, I think this would be perfect if you picked out either the brown or I would do the olive green and mix this together and made it beautiful, nice size shawl. I think it would be stunning. So again, there's a contest open on the Knit Sense Podcast Ravelry group. It's been open for about 4 weeks now, and we have 1 entry. And when I started the contest, I really would like to get at least 10 entries before we draw for a winner. And all you need to do, you need to be a member of the group, and what you need to do to enter in the thread is just get a friend to join the group and tell me in the thread who you got to join. That's it, and you're entered to win. And trust me, it's been 4 weeks and we only have 1 entry, so your chances are going to be pretty good, because once I hit 10 or enough dust bunnies collect on this, I'm going to draw for it. So the odds are going to be pretty good for somebody. So please go on over and enter the contest. Show a little love to the group. I really, you'd make my day. I'm practically pleading at this point. I really do want to give this skein away. I want to spread the love of the Desert Vista Dye Works. I've been working with her yarn all year. As you know, I've been doing the sock club, so I've been using Susan's yarn every month, almost every day, working a little bit with it. So I really would love to share the love. So go on over to the group, join the contest, please, show a little love. I love you, begging you, join on over. And I think that is about it for this week. Yeah, I'm sure I'll find something either under the table, on the floor, or whatever that I forgot, but whatever. We'll get to that next week. Hopefully, we are going to keep this going on a weekly basis. This is great. It's keeping me knitting. It's keeping me busy, and it's giving me motivation to get out there and record every week. And I'm really happy to have you join us. So I hope you are all looking forward to a really good weekend. I know I am. I will be with family, extended family on Sunday. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. I really am sending out to, I have friends and family and all of you, any of you that live in Texas, in the coast area, in the Corpus Christi, in the Gulf region of Texas, please take care, be very careful, follow whatever warnings. I live on an island. We've been under this ourselves. It's really important to follow whatever advisements are issued. Please stay safe. Know that our thoughts and our prayers are with you this weekend with Hurricane Harvey. I think it is heading your way. So stay safe. Get one of those lights that goes around your neck in case your lights go out, and you can sit and you can knit. Know that we'll be thinking about you. And as always, remember to knit with sense.